welcome along to a new vlog. Now, I have been trying to shoot this video for over a week now, and I know if you've been following me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, I did say that the last video I uploaded on this channel would be my return after taking a little bit of time off because we lost our little dog Chloe, who was 17 and a half years old when that happened. The last video was like a little tribute to Chloe, and it was made up of photographs and video clips of her since she was a pup right through to the last clip on the, excuse me, I still get a little bit filled up. When I talk about this little dog, the last video clip on there was literally about a month before she passed away. And that's something that I wanted to make just for the sake of it's the way that I deal with things, is making videos, producing video content, like for anything else that I've had trouble with in my life. It's like a coping mechanism for me to make videos. But actually sitting down in front of the camera recording a little video like this here, I've found it extremely difficult to do that. And the review channel, haven't done anything there for ages, literally because this particular loss hit me that hard that, like, my coping mechanism of making videos, I couldn't even bring myself to do that there. And I know for a fact that there was somebody in the comments below this video that will say, come on man, it's just a dog. And you know, thankfully no one has said that to my face just yet, but you know, people do have that mentality of a dog just being an animal at the end of the day. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is when dogs become like family, because that's literally what happened with this little dog. And you know, definitely if you've not seen that little tribute video, go and check it out. I'll have that in the description box below this video, but I will, I'm sure, have a little clip of it playing down in the corner here somewhere probably. I'll not play the whole video there, I'll play a little bit of it, just let you see it, but definitely go and check out the actual video itself. Yes, when dogs become like family, I'm going to tell you how we got Chloe and the impact that she's pretty much had on myself, my brother, my family. Anybody that actually met the dog actually at some point had really good memories of her. And way back at the beginning, which 17 and a half years ago, I was just about to say it seemed like a lifetime ago. It literally is a lifetime ago, the little dog's lifetime ago. Back then, I was a very different person than what I am now. I had literally just gotten married, or just 17 and a half years ago was a long time, guys. At that point, were we married, or were we just about to get married? I'm not the best for remembering dates at the best of times, but my ex-wife and me now, we decided, well, at that point, in all honesty, I wasn't on board with the idea of getting a dog, and my ex-wife had seen an advertisement in a local paper for dogs free to good home. Pretty much the story behind this little letter was that the mother had gotten pregnant, and the people that owned the mother just literally didn't have space for all these dogs. There was like 7 in the litter. So we went to see, and I will say now, I went reluctantly to see these pups, and we got to the house. We're taken in. The people that owned the house like let us into the kitchen. There was a little utility room just off the back of the kitchen, towards the back of the house, and that's where the dogs were. And we came in, and they opened the door, and this just flash of fur and tongues, just like the friendliest dogs you're ever likely to meet, rushed into this room and just fell to us, and you know, just so much energy. It was unbelievable. It's like literally just. It's like one of the fight sequences from Transformers. You know, everything's just moving that quick that you couldn't focus on anything. That's just what it was, only with fur instead of metal. So these dogs come in jumping up on us, and I'm still at this point. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know if, and I just spat all over the place. I don't know if we have the time to look after a dog. You know, getting a dog is a massive responsibility, and you know, there was one little dog in particular that the wife, the ex-wife, commented on that she was interested in getting, and she had, literally, I was just talking to her recently. You know, we're still friendly after all these years, and she mentioned this little black one. Like, all the pups looked exactly the same as Chloe, and there was a little one, jet black, from head to toe, bar a little piece of white at the tip of the tail, and she had joked at that stage, she had this dog here we could call Dipstick, and looking back on it now, I don't fancy like out the back of the house roaring Dipstick, but yes, that was random. But as I say, all these dogs were just full of energy, jumping up and down, and then I looked at the door to the utility room, and this little brown and black puppy came out, and unlike the others, she wasn't jumping about, full of energy. She came in and she sat down just inside the doorway, and she was timid, shy, and kind of scared. This was Chloe, and it was at that point where I know for me the decision was made whenever I seen this little dog. Heart went out to it, and I asked the owner, I was like, what's the deal with this little pup? Like, it hasn't got the same energy as the rest of these dogs. And the guy was like, well, she was the runt of the litter, she's kind of been bullied by the rest of them, and you know, I don't think there was too much of a size difference in Chloe and the rest of them, but she definitely was the most timid one out of them. And as the guy said, she was being bullied by the rest of them, you know, like they were stealing food from her and all that there. She just didn't have that assertiveness that the rest of them had, and that's, I think that was part of the reason why I was inclined to take Chloe. I kind of felt like at that point I could see a lot of myself in her. I wouldn't say I was bullied as a kid growing up, but I was kind of the guy that was always chosen last for the team, sort of thing. So you know, that my heart went out to the dog, and I was like, the ex-wife agreed with me. She was just like, this definitely one has to come. So we took Chloe, took her home, and you know, it took a little while for her to come round, and like, you know, within a few days, weeks, she came out of her shell. She became the same ball of energy that the rest of them was, really come out of her shell. But you know, once me and the ex-wife split up, went our separate ways, Chloe stayed with me, and you know, she was never really a clingy pup. You know, she was like always full of energy, and you know, she was literally a couple of years old before I seen her sleeping. That's how much energy that little dog had. She was just like, any time you tried to sneak down, catch her having a snooze or something, she was wide awake looking to see what was going on. And you know, it took ages for me to actually catch her sleeping one night. But you know, whenever me and the ex-wife went our separate ways, she became very close and clingy, and just, it's almost as if she knew that at that point, you know, I kind of just needed some sort of affection, and the dog was, I couldn't do anything without the dog being there. And you know, she was always, previous to this here, she was never really one for jumping up on couches and whatnot, but any time I was sitting down to do something, sitting down for a cup of coffee, a bite to eat, playing the PlayStation, whatever it may be, the dog had to be up beside me, sitting, cuddling in. So yes, I was so thankful to have Chloe in those days. But decided about a year later, if even not there, I was going to sell the house, move back up home. It was just a better financial decision. My Where I was working at that stage, there was like an hour's drive in the morning, 8 hour shift if you were lucky, and then an hour's driving down in the evenings, and just that travelling alone, just financially, wasn't working out. So sold up the house, moved back here, brought the dog with me, and there's an old guy. My big worry about Chloe being there on her own all day was because, like, she was there on her own all day, and if she was up here, she would have the company of my brother and my parents and whatnot. And there was an old guy lived behind my house, and pensioner, and he's a guy that I never really had much interaction with over the time that I lived there. It was kind of like, if we met each other, seen each other, we would stop, say hello, but that was it. There was no real friendship. There was no, like, going around into his house, or like Louise coming to our house, whatnot. It was just passing each other in the streets, and like, as I say, it was more or less just hello, how are you doing, then we went in our separate ways. But before we sold the house, the last couple of days I was there, I was more or less just tidying up, packing stuff to move up. Chloe went up to my parents' house 2 or 3 days before I moved up here, and my parents, God rest them, my father, he built like a little pen out the back of the house for Chloe, little dog house and everything, her own little space out behind the house. And the old guy that lived behind my house in Korean, where I lived at that stage, one day sees me out the back, and he's like, what happened to the little dog? And I'm like, explained the situation. I was like, selling the house. The dog's going ahead of me to my parents' house. She's grand. She's okay. Don't be worrying about her. And then this is when I found out that, every time I was gone away from the house, the dog was there out the back in her wee place. This guy was slipping her treats through the fence, and not just that, he was actually taking her out for walks, and all unknown to me. And I was like, this is amazing, I had no idea you were actually doing that sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, well, it's, the dog needs a bit of company too, so he was taking her out for walks. And I was just like, do you want some money for giving her treats? And like, you've been walking her for what at this point was probably about 2 years, maybe longer actually. I said, can I pay you and give you something for like doing that? It's a really nice favour, I appreciate that. And he was like, no, it's okay, I was glad to do it. And that bowled me over, because as I say, everybody that met Chloe, they had a special place in their heart for her, so it seemed. And once she got up here, she was kind of, I see something outside the window, but I haven't got my glasses on to actually focus on it. At least it's outside the window. When Chloe got here, it took her a little while to adjust to where she was at. She tried to break out of the pen a few times. She was just used to her own space in her own home, and for the first 2 or 3 weeks, this literally didn't feel like home for her, and she tried to get out a few times to literally go home. But after a while, she attached herself onto my parents and my brother and my nephew, and then later on my niece. And Chloe, for some reason, as I said earlier, when my marriage broke up and she became clingy, it's almost as if she knew where she needed to be and that I needed help. And she was trying her best to be what I needed her to be at that stage. And then when she came up here, that is a spider, and it is huge. Okay, sorry. Yes, she latched on And it's something that I noticed throughout her little life. My parents, God rest them, the two of them's gone now, both through cancer. When my father wasn't well, the dog was always looking for my father. Now, the reason she was outside the house in her own wee pen out the back was because with his condition, you know, he could pick up infection very easily, so we didn't want the dog getting too close to him. But it's almost as if she knew. And, you know, if she was coming, if my brother was taking her out for walks or I was taking her out for walks, she wouldn't pass the house without actually stopping to see my father. And she wouldn't leave the house until he actually came out. And, you know, it's really weird. Whenever he passed, it's almost as if she didn't want to come near the house. And then, you know, cut a long story short, and I know you're probably thinking it's too late now, it's 16 minutes of this video. It was the same with my mother. When she wasn't well, the dog was forever looking for her. You can see it in one of the clips in the little video. There's a clip there where she's eating an apple, and when she's finished that there, she comes towards the camera to me. In the clip you can see her actually turning around, looking out of the pen, puts the 2 ears up, because she was looking for my mother at that stage. I can remember that there day like it was yesterday. And you know, my brother was in the pen, I was in the pen, she had plenty of company, she had treats, she had toys and whatnot, but she was literally, you can see it in the video, looking to see where my mother was at. And it was the same both times. When my father died, then a few years later when my mother died. The dog, you know, some people would say, you know, you're romanticising the relationship that a dog can have in a family by saying something that's here. But, you know, for weeks and months after my father passing and my mother passing, Chloe, anytime you seen her, had a tear rolling down her left cheek. As, you know, it was almost as if, and it's not, I don't want to say almost as if, because, you know, I was there, I seen it happening, and the dog literally mourned the passing of my parents just the same way we did. And it was heartbreaking for all of us, and to see this little dog, you know, showing the emotion of heartbreak was beautiful. And after they were gone, my older brother Stephen, I'm not going to get into his personal story because it's not my story to tell, but he isn't working due to a health reason, and Chloe really latched on to him. She became his shadow she was up here for 14 years before she passed away, and literally you never would have seen the one without the other. Like, they spent 24 hours a day together pretty much. And you know, although she was my dog originally, I really did lose her to my family, because as I say, she just knew where she needed to be. And she helped me through my divorce, and you know, whenever I started doing better, she went on to my father, she went on to my mother, she went on to my brother, and she was always just, you know, gravitated towards the person that she felt she needed to be with, to help out. I was like, you know, people say dogs are like angels in a way. They're, you know, they're there to help who needs help. That's the way I see it. It's the experience I've had with Chloe. And you know, she started getting older, and I'm starting to fill up now talking about it, but as she got older and older, you start to realise that there's less days ahead of her than there are behind her, and you can see the age process in that little tribute video. And you know, I'm kind of shocked that she stayed as long as she did. You know, dogs, the experience I had with Chloe, you know, dogs hang about for as long as they're needed. It's almost like, you know, they won't leave until their job's done, sort of thing. So it's, you know, it feels kind of like, you know, she got to the point where, you know, I've done my job, I'm not needed here anymore. These two are doing okay now. Me and my brother are doing grand. we can go on without her, I think was her final thoughts in the final days. But 17 and a half years, and I'm starting to realise why this video was so hard to actually get sat down and record. But you know, our final few weeks were hard, to say the least, because you know, it got to the point where we knew we were going to have to make some sort of a decision, and it was hard to watch. But the last few weeks, I think, out of everything, are probably the ones that I'm gonna take with me to my own grave, because I learned some of the most valuable lessons from that little dog in our final weeks, because you know, I have let so many things over the years stop me from doing the things I want to do, the goals that I want to achieve. You know, some setbacks will happen. I would let that derail me, stop me in my tracks, and you know, I could be so much further on now than where I am if I didn't let myself be derailed by speed bumps in my own personal path. But seeing this little dog in her final days, she was starting to suffer some pain through arthritis in her back legs, and she was, in the final couple of weeks, it was getting to the point where her little legs were just no longer starting to support her the way that they should be doing. And you know, she would walk, after a little while she wouldn't be strong enough to hold herself up, and she would fall over, and she would just look at us as if to say, this isn't going to stop me, you know, set me back up on my feet. And literally we would just reach down, didn't even have to lift her, just put her hand in below her and kind of push her back up under her back legs, and off she would go again, happy as Larry. And you know, again, she would go for a little while, she would fall over, we would help her back up, off she would go again, still full of energy. And in that last clip of her in the little video, you see her standing at the back door of our house, and she runs from the camera to my brother at the front of the house, and then she runs back towards us. That was literally a couple of weeks before she had passed away. And you know, that was during the time where, you know, she might fall over, but prop me up, I'm going to keep going. The motivation that dog taught me in the final couple of weeks was unbelievable. It's just like, you know, if you're fit to stand up, if you're fit to get up in the morning, if you wake up, you're fit to get onto your 2 feet, or 4 feet in her case. What's stopping you from doing what you want to do? And you know, the final couple of days where, you know, she was just got to the point where it's almost as if the battery was just about to run out. She was just, it was just her time. She was ready to go. She was kind of getting, she just knew it was her time, and it was just a matter of days. We went to the vets over the last 3 visits. We took her to the vet. The vet tried a few different treatments on her, and it got to the point where we were just like, you know, it'll be just cruel to keep her on at this point. So we went to the vet, had that discussion with her, you know, do you think it's actually time for her to go? And the vet agreed. The only thing the vet could have done for her at that point was, you know, we could admit her and here keep her and put her on fluids and all that sort of stuff. But it's literally just, you know, I could be just buying her a couple of days. But this was a Tuesday, and she said you could be having the exact same conversation by Friday. And she said, sorry, my camera passed out there. The vet said that Chloe struck her as the kind of little dog that would, you know, fret been away from us. She was just that attached to the two of us, and you know, I could have done more harm than good. So we made the decision then to help her and put her to sleep, which has been the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. One I'll never want to do again. The final moments of Chloe were just beautiful. Taking Chloe down on that final visit were pretty special to me, because for the first time in years since the split up of my marriage and the dog realising that I needed help, and for the first time ever becoming a clingy dog, in the vet's waiting room, waiting to go in to see what we were going to do, I was cradling Chloe like a child. I had her tail end just here, just down at my waist, and her head was up here, and she put the two paws on either side of my neck, and she put her little nose in here and kind of like, you know, laying against me. And it's unreal. It does actually feel like I've lost a child and not a dog. And I know some people are probably going to laugh at that there. Dude, you're a grown man, you're sitting here, you're starting to blubber on YouTube, but you know, anyone that's ever owned a dog will tell you exactly the same thing. They do, really do become like family. And literally that old dog, from the first day where I was just like, I'm not convinced we should get a dog, going from that to being a real cheerleader to keep me motivated and upbeat whenever I was in my house on my own, and leaving there, coming up and attaching herself to my parents, to my brother and my nephew and niece. It's almost as if, you know, the dog was there to help all of us in our own individual struggles, and she did it well. And by the end, she struggled through her own little bit of pain, and you know, we had to eventually come to the decision where it's, you know, time to let the little pup rest. So Chloe passed away peacefully that day, and you know, it was really hard to actually sit and watch and, you know, kind of comfort her in those last few moments where she was just reserved to the fact that her time was up and it was time to go. And you know, I carried her into the house as a pup, and at the end I was there to hold her little paw and, you know, rub her ear whenever they put her to sleep. So after that, we came the question of what we're going to do with the remains. And I had heard that someone had said, I don't know if it's true or not, that, you know, you're not really supposed to bury animals anymore, pets. For whatever reason may be, that, you know, a lot of dogs are tagged now, and you know, it's probably something to do with governments not wanting all these live tags to be buried all over the countryside. But so, you know, I had decided previous to that there, if it did come to the point and Chloe was passed away, what we were going to do for her remains. So we got her actually cremated. I've been toying with the idea of actually putting the image of that onto this video, and I've decided not to. It's just out of respect for the dog herself. She's now back home with us in her little urn, beautiful little box that's literally only about this big. It's a little small thing. It's unbelievable how small it actually is, and it's got a nice little engraving of her name on the top of it. So we've got that. We've got that on our own little space in the house now, and our little collar just sits over the top of it. So that's kind of the story of our little beloved runt of the litter that became a giant in our family, and as I say, helped us all so much in so many different ways over the years. And you know, yes, she was like a crutch for everyone that needed help to stand up. And definitely a little dog that will be hard to replace. Not that I am considering replacing Chloe or getting another animal. I'm thinking, you know, goodness knows what will happen years down the line. But right now, after 17 and a half years of that little pup, that's a huge space in this house. It's never going to be filled, and you know, not to sound cheesy, but there's a huge hole left in me that is going to be hard to be filled too. And yes, I think it was just important to do this video more for myself, just to kind of talk about it and get that out of me. And you know, thankfully I didn't break down and bawl like a child in the video, although it did come very close there whenever Chloe was put to sleep at the vets. I'm not embarrassed to say it, I bawled like a child. Really did break my heart for it to happen. But you know, dogs unfortunately don't live forever. But 17 and a half years for a dog is an amazing lifespan. I don't have the figures for definite, but you know, some people have said that, you know, the average lifespan of a dog is somewhere between 11 to 12 years, maybe 13. Could be totally wrong on that there, but you know, I've never heard of a dog living much over 14 or 15 years, and Chloe got 17 and a half, and that's just absolutely amazing. But yes, as I say, I'm definitely going to miss her. But you know, just having her ashes back home in her little urn here, it's like she's not too far away from us. You know, I didn't want to go through, I didn't actually want to bury Chloe, because you know, you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we're going to end up. You know, I'm living here right now in my parents' house. That mightn't, you know, might not be here forever, and you know, at some point I could be going somewhere else. It'll be nice to have the option of actually taking the ashes with me. But in saying that, there, although Chloe started out as being my dog, she became the family's dog, and you know, to refer to her as a dog seems a bit disrespectful because of how much she meant to all of us. She became so much more than just an animal and just a pet. She became literally a family member, and you know, our hearts have broke for her just as hard as they broke for our parents whenever they passed away. And yes, I think that's it. I don't know what else I can say. This video is going to be insanely long. Like the camera shut down after probably 25 minutes there, so this is going to be like a 31-minute video by the time I'm done with it. So you know, if you're still here by this stage, I really do appreciate it, guys, and definitely go and check out the little tribute video to Chloe. There's so many people who have said to me that, you know, people had never even met the dog have have messaged me after seeing it and saying, like, we were crying by the end of that video, because it literally does show the dog aging from a pup to weeks before she was gone. It's a video that I enjoy having, and it's nice to look back on it. People think you're crazy whenever you're on a vlog channel and you constantly, every time they meet you, if you're not using the camera, you've got one in your pocket, and it's like, why the heck would you be doing this? Especially at your age, you're getting old. Stop acting like a child. Anybody asks me that from now on, I'm just going to direct them to that little video, that little tribute to Chloe, and just like, if I wasn't doing stuff like this here, I wouldn't have this beautiful set of memories in an 8-minute video that I can go back to at any time and watch and remember that little dog. And that's just a small selection of clips we have of the dog. There's so much more to those videos. We've got hours of raw video there, that we actually can go and hear the sounds over. Yes, heartbroken. So yes, again, I think this video was just more for me than anyone else, just to talk about it a little bit and get it out in the open. Like, I have talked to a couple of people about it, but actually going through the lifespan and the memories of the dog in this video have felt very therapeutic for me. And I don't know, maybe sometime again there might be another dog about the house, another little pet, but right now I can't see it, and I don't want that to discourage anyone. If you're watching this video and it's like, oh gosh, I don't ever want to get a pet if this is the effect that it has whenever you lose one. But I wouldn't change the experience of having Chloe for anything. Like, back at the very beginning, I would have been very adamant that there's not going to be a dog about the house. But I'm glad that we actually did get Chloe, and she's learned me so many lessons on how to properly care for another living being, and how to show affection, and how to receive affection. Like, dogs are so full of love. People could learn so much from dogs. So I'm going to cut it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to, please get into the comment section below. Leave me some of your own experiences of you and your story of having, whether it be a dog, a cat, hamster, whatever it may be. If you want to leave a little message of your story and your loss, or whatever it may be, please feel free to do it in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. I read every comment that comes onto this channel. And yes, I'm gonna go. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please hit that subscription button and don't forget to press that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Please get into the description box below this video and check out my social media links down there. Check out all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.